To be merciful, see, is to be actively compassionate, particularly in relation to need. Mercy for Matthew is not an attitude. It's not about the thoughts we think or about something we feel. It's about what we actually do. And Matthew seems to care a lot about this kind of mercy. In the very first chapter of the book of Matthew, mercy comes up in a profound, life-saving way. When Mary turns up pregnant before she is married, the text says that Joseph, being a righteous man and unwilling to expose her to public disgrace, planned to dismiss her quietly. Because Joseph is righteous, he is merciful. Right out of the gate, Matthew demonstrates that right living, even as oriented toward justice, includes the practice of mercy in ways that are scandalous. But it's two other stories about mercy in Matthew's gospel that I think should also rock us to the core at an even deeper level. They add depth and complexity to the Beatitude about mercy. And they demonstrate what I think is critical about the call of Jesus to a life of mercy. These stories demonstrate that mercy is one of the most difficult things to practice precisely because it touches our desire for purity and our deep resistance to recognizing our vulnerability. Said another way, Jesus calls us to come out of our desire for purity and out of our illusions of self-sufficiency by his insistence that his disciples practice mercy. We see the first part of this in Matthew 9, chapters 9 through 13. Feel free to check this out later in the week if you have a moment. This is the famous story in which Jesus invites Matthew, the tax collector, to become a disciple. And then Jesus goes home with him to dine with others considered tax collectors and sinners. The Pharisees, a religious sect of the day, take note of this and challenge Jesus' intimacy with people who are such untouchable examples of piety. The story ends with Jesus exhorting the Pharisees to go and learn what this means. I desire mercy, not sacrifice. For I have come to call the righteous, to call not the righteous, but sinners. Jesus lifts up Hosea 6:6, a verse which centers mercy over ritual, in the context of claims that he has become intimate with the wrong types of people. Now, what's interesting here is that when this gospel was written, the temple, the center of sacrifice, had likely already been destroyed. Sacrifice, as Hosea understood it, likely no longer would have been in play. Yet the writer still grounds the call of Jesus to mercy in this sentiment. Why? Because I think the writer understands Jesus' call of mercy as an attack overall on what Richard Beck calls the purity impulse, and not just on actual sacrifice. The call of Jesus to be merciful touches our desire to be pure and to be considered pure, to be uncontaminated, to expel from our midst all those who don't fit our standards. The call of Jesus to mercy directly contrasts our desires to erect barriers and to scapegoat.